Guys, Nintendo is redesigning all of their characters. This is a really interesting time, and I'm really curious as to why this might be. So I wanted to just take a look at some of the new redesigns of characters and just try to logic my way into understanding maybe the design philosophies behind these new designs. Of course, in the last few years, we've seen kind of subtle redesigns in the entire Mario crew. We've also seen a pretty major overhaul of Donkey Kong's design. And now with a bunch of leaks around Pokemon, we can see that Pokemon like Pikachu and Charizard are getting redesigns as well. I think this is a really special and interesting time for Nintendo. I mean, we've just got the Switch 2. It's been out for 6 months. There haven't been heaps of games yet, but it does really feel like Nintendo is ushering in a new era that is going to be not just video game focused, but multimedia focused, with the movie and other Nintendo movies in the works. So this is a really cool time. I want to look at these redesigns and just sort of talk through them, talk about what I think, and yeah, let's get into it. What's up, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel, by the way. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more like this. Let's do it. Okay, so of course, over time, characters get redesigned. It's normally not an official statement from a company going, we've redesigned this character. It's just over time, they just sort of shift things for different purposes to respond to the market, to change things up. And I wanted to start with Mario, and I guess the broader Mario gang in particular, who kind of got a huge overhaul in design a couple years ago with Super Mario Wonder, which has now kind of become the new standard Mario design. So of course, being a child of the 90s, one of my introductions to Mario was the early Super Mario Brothers games on SNES, but then moving into Super Mario 64, which I think is where Mario really got a proper personality and vibe for the first time. It's the first time he was voiced by a voice actor, Charles Martinet, who was the voice of Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, all of these characters were him. And I think this Mario design kind of stayed pretty static for 20 years. And then it's sort of when the Super Mario Brothers movie came out, they had to do a redesign of a bunch of the characters just to suit the movie vibe. So of course for the movies, Mario, Peach, Luigi, they all kind of got designs that are slightly different, that kind of fit more like a traditional animated movie style. Think Pixar, Illumination, DreamWorks. It kind of fit that world a little bit more, which made sense. But then you get Super Mario Wonder, which just really shifted the game design. In fact, Charles Martinet, the long-time and only voice actor at that point of Mario and co, was quietly shafted. I mean, fans quickly picked up that whoever was voicing Mario in the trailer was not him. And eventually Nintendo confirmed this. He'd kind of been moved on from the role, maybe just to refresh it. So Mario kind of just got this glow up, and a lot of the characters just felt a lot more animated, a lot more lively, a lot more fun. And this carried over into Mario Kart World, the newest Mario Kart game as well, where all the characters dance to the music and they're just a lot more lively. You look at games like New Super Mario Brothers, even maybe Super Mario Galaxy, they kind of look really static. They're not super expressive either. And I think the philosophy behind this redesign is just to make the characters pop a little bit more, just to give them a little bit more personality, something that maybe was long overdue for Mario. That brings us into Donkey Kong, who had the biggest redesign ever, and it was just kind of subtly dropped on us when Mario Kart World's trailer originally dropped. Keen-eyed fans, including me, noticed that Donkey Kong was not Donkey Kong anymore, or at least he wasn't the Donkey Kong we all knew. It is kind of a weird one because Donkey Kong's, I guess, modern design from the 90s and 2000s was actually designed by Rare, a studio that developed games like Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Country 2, 3, and Banjo-Kazooie and GoldenEye and stuff like that. They were a really big studio back in the 90s and early 2000s. So they were tasked with this Donkey Kong game, and they designed sort of the modern or the most well-known iteration of Donkey Kong, which I'll have some vision of the screen right now. And this is the Donkey Kong we came to know. I mean, the Super Smash Brothers iteration of Donkey Kong is based on this design. In those games, he comes across a lot more apish. All of his sound effects are gorilla grunts instead of in a lot of the Rare games, he was just more cartoonish rather than gorilla-ish, and I much prefer the cartoony version. Hey guys, super quickly, most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed. I do all kinds of videos on 90s, 2000s, millennial, Gen Z, nerdy pop culture. So if you're into that stuff, it would mean the world to me if you hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride, hang out with me a couple times a week and watch a bunch of my videos. I'm getting a bunch of subscribers every day, so I'd love for you to be part of it. It would mean the world appeal to me. So yeah, thanks so much. And now like this modern design is much fresher, and to be honest, I like it a lot more. Donkey Kong is a lot more expressive, and at first it was a bit of a shock to me that they changed it, but now that I've played through Donkey Kong Bonanza, I like it a lot more. It just seems to make more sense to me that Donkey Kong would look like this, I suppose. It definitely brings out the more animated, lively, cartoony side that I think maybe Nintendo is trying to sort of streamline into at least the Mario and Donkey Kong franchises, which slowly feel like they're combining into one, which has kind of been a thing for a while. I mean, they technically did sort of start off as the same game, Donkey Kong, the arcade game, which featured Donkey Kong and Jumpman, who is technically Mario, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it. So it feels like they redesigned Donkey Kong to suit the new Nintendo Mario World style, and I think it works really, really well for Donkey Kong. And I think philosophy-wise, I wonder if it's just to bring in more kids. Like, they are definitely more appealing designs for children, I think. They're just a little bit more cartoony, a little bit more kid-friendly. If they want to get to kids early and make as much money as possible, which is what Nintendo does want to do. They are a business. Sometimes we forget that. I think that makes sense. From there, we get Pikachu, and there's been leaked screenshots that Pikachu, as well as a few other Pokemon, including Charizard, are going to get slight redesigns as well. I recently did a video kind of talking about this in more detail, so go to my channel and check that out. But basically, Pikachu started out as like a chonk lord in the 90s. Like, most people colloquially know this iteration of Pikachu as Fat Pikachu, and if you look at him throughout the years, he slowly just started to like become more agile and thin and limber, and it shifts through the anime, through the games, through everything. And now this new design, allegedly from Pokemon Generation 10, Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Waves, it's a much more rounded face and slim Pikachu, like even more round than before. I personally think this is to be a more iconic logo. I think it fits some of the Pokemon logos using Pikachu's silhouette, and I think it kind of calls back to characters like Mickey Mouse, who are just universal icons that everyone knows. And again, I think that's just so this character is as recognizable and simple as possible for kids to see and recognize. Like, Pikachu is already that, but just streamlining it this little bit and giving it just a little bit more iconic like roundness and simplicity, I think really helps. So overall, I think we shouldn't be surprised that Nintendo wants to redesign these characters. They want to streamline them. They want to just sort of slowly get them to becoming more marketable, more palatable, and just more popular amongst children. And I think this is the best way to go. Make them more cartoony, a little bit more simplistic, but a lot more expressive. That seems to be what they're doing. Hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. Over to you now. Which design do you like more? Classic Donkey Kong or the new Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong Bonanza? What do you think of Pikachu's redesign? And why do you think they're redesigning their characters like this? It's a really interesting time, like genuinely. If you like this video, there's a video right here of me talking all about Pikachu's redesign and some other Pokemon leaks from the Terra League. But if you just want to watch a bunch of my Nintendo content, there is a video for you right here. There's a playlist rather, and I will not stop you binging it. That is pretty much it from me for now. My name's Radio Mike. This has been the Inside of the Line, and I'll catch you later.